First and foremost, highlight our fans. Finally, to give them. It's been a few weeks since we gave them the type of performance that the best home environment, best fan base in football deserves at US Bank Stadium. Very proud of our team. Really felt like in a lot of ways, whether you're talking the physicality which we played with, protected the football, able to make some plays in the passing game, but be efficient enough running the football to stay ahead of the chains, limited penalties. And then, like I said, our defense doing great work all day long, keeping them out of the end zone. Fourth down stop, huge. We wanted to start fast, took the ball, and able to put a touchdown on the board. And then defense gets the stop, and then we can keep the ball for the next 12 minutes on a very long drive from our own 2-yard line. Third down conversions. I thought JJ had some phenomenal plays on third down. And then just continued to play within himself. Decision-making was going to be the priority today, and felt like he, played a very clean game, protected the football, like I said, ran the show. So very proud of him and a lot of guys for that matter. But felt good to, play to the standard that our fans deserve back here at US Bank Stadium. And a lot of football left. Players have overcome a lot of adversity, and really proud and very appreciative. I told them of just the consistency of staying the course and remaining together, being about things that are very, very important, not only in football, in locker rooms, but beyond that. The type of things that I'm really proud of with our guys. I'm very appreciative of that. No real injury updates for you guys. We came out relatively clean. And with that, I'll open it up to you guys.
Was the game plan set up to make things easy for JJ, or did he just execute things better?
I think it was a combination of JJ's execution, staying efficient. We used some different, we had some different looks early on in the game to try to, some change-ups to maybe some things we've done either personnel-wise or schematically, and just tried to, get off to a fast start and then get a little momentum in the game. Allow our defense to play with a lead and then eventually force some turnovers, and then try to see if we could stack on that by just staying the course and protecting the football and playing smart. But I do think the situational football is probably not going to be talked about. But when you run the football efficiently, that's great, but you're going to have some third downs. And when you even some third and mediums, 3rd and 11, and whatever it was when Justin converted on, kind of in the field goal range there, and we convert on that. It has to pair together with being situationally sound if you're going to play a physical kind of run style of a game. And that's where JJ, I thought was phenomenal, especially with some pretty good ops there in the first half.
What goes into the decision to receive from the outset of the game?
It's kind of a feel thing. We wanted to, a big point for the week was starting fast, Alec, in the game. And sometimes that means putting your defense out there and getting a stop. But when you take the ball, it allows really 2 phases to start fast at the same time. With the new kickoff rule, Jug, Miles with the really nice return there. And then before you know it, when you get a return like that, if you can sustain and get that first down, now you at least have the field position on your side. But obviously the goal is to go in there and get 7 points to start the game and kind of lift the building in a lot of ways, where we avoid any sort of feeling of when you're in the midst of struggle. It's very easy to let your mind, either on the field or in the stands, to let your mind kind of wander to here we go again. And I just didn't want to allow it, and trusted our guys to get off to the start that they did, and then we were able to sustain for the rest of the day. But I thought the defensive stop down there in the low red zone on the 4th down, and then to drive at 98 after that, and one of the longer drives I think of the season in the NFL, was a pretty unique way to start fast. It wasn't necessarily explosives and throwing the ball all over the yard, but very efficient. I was really proud of the guys the way we did that.
Tight ends are pretty active early on that first drive.
Yep.
Route, really. Intentional, or sort of how the defense was just
there was parts of the plan where, in many cases we had 3 of them on the field. We had 2 and CJ on the field. We just wanted to be versatile in how we kind of attacked on the early downs and tried to see if we can, have some early down success running the football out of those groupings, and then pairing that with some kind of just schematical ways of trying to get some easy completions and then ultimately. Then you still got to execute on third down, which when we get into those normal 11 groupings, or if we're in 12, we obviously feel great about those groupings as well. But just trying to play in a style where it's easy for our guys. We lined up in a lot of different ways, but yet some formulas of how we wanted to play to try to pair some things together, both with the run and the pass, and our guys handled it really, really well.
JJ works back, starting to the left, and then works all the way back to Josh on that touchdown. Is that kind of an example of playing faster and thinking through things, maybe a little bit less, just working fast that you've talked about?
Yeah, I just think, it's as many times as he can go to the line of scrimmage and just totally focus on his job. Come off that kind of quick play-action fake, and if he's got, his eligible at the top of his drop, pull the trigger and throw it. Be decisive. But if you don't, get your eyes backside, and we caught man coverage on that, and J.O. was able to kind of slip off of block and be uncovered.
Kevin, you talk about the decision-making as a priority for the week. What was your immediate takeaway on how he did with that?
Yeah, it just, when J.J.'s at his best, there's conviction. You can feel it in his fundamentals and technique pair together because he's got conviction on what he's going to do with the ball. And there's still some, there's going to be 1,000 things we'll look at, and foot placement here and all that stuff. But part of the mentality of where I want him now, after having experience, knowing what it's felt like in games, knowing what it's felt like in an NFL pocket now after a collection of playing time and starts, to just start applying that out of all this experience, you can hopefully take from it that the success comes from the simplicity of making sure the starting point of doing my job, I check that box, because it's hard enough to play. If you're then adding variables to the starting point of if they do this, and his mind, he's very much a guy that wants to play the mental game within the snap, and sometimes he can simplify it for himself within just the play that's called, and setting his feet and eyes to number one, and then progressing with great fundamentals from there, and being accurate. I thought there were some really good examples of that today, and now we just got to build on it.
How essential was it to have a game like that as you start having these building blocks where you just needed some forward traction?
Yeah, I mean, look, I told the players, as a whole, they've heard me talk a lot this year, and they've heard me talk a lot, and try to continue to make sure guys understand that I'm aware. I do believe I have a decent amount of awareness to my leadership style and ability, and I'm first and foremost aware of where a stretch of games like this can allow anybody to go, and the noise and the things are absolutely justified, but when in doubt, we get to work every single week towards a 60-minute opportunity, regardless of anything that's transpired before, or, as I told him, anything that will transpire from here. We get this opportunity to make sure that we are proving some growth, that through adversity, I think it's the best grounds to have that growth happen. But you still have to go do it, and you still have to have a team that stays together through all of this. And it was good to win a game. We needed to win a football game, and the guys came out and did that.
On that 19-play drive, just how rewarding is that for an offense? Had some struggles the last 2 weeks, but then to put it all together in that.
Yeah, I think it kind of highlighted the possibilities of, I think we were 5 of 5 on third down on the drive. We stayed relatively efficient, even though maybe we didn't have the explosive run throughout. We still, were able to stay efficient and keep those third downs somewhat manageable, make some pretty relatively routine throw and catches that were good to see those hit, and stack plays on top of that. It was a stacking positive play kind of day, and just making sure that it was about what the Minnesota Vikings were doing well and consistent, which has been a big theme this year. Whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers, we just haven't had enough sustained times, and I think we've had a couple home games now where we've been able to get a pretty significant lead by doing a lot of those things, especially early on in the game, and then allowing the defense to have some ops at potentially taking away the football, and then for this team, when we're sustaining that and running the football and being good on third down, we have the ability to eat clock, we have the ability to protect the football and get points the majority of the times we touch it.
What goes through your mind when Van Ginkel does it again?
Yeah, he's been close on a few. I know you guys know that. He's been close on a few, but the first thing I always think is, you're shocked they threw it to his side, but it's part of offense. They're just trying to have answers for some of the things that we present schematically, but it was great to see. It was absolutely great to see.
Coach, when you talk about the growth of JJ from the beginning of the season to where he played today, had a phenomenal game, how would you like to see his growth moving forward towards thinking about the end of the season?
Yeah, I think when when you have examples of things that you hear a lot throughout the week, you have examples of real examples out on the grass with those other 10 guys in the huddle, and we're off on the sideline, and no matter how much I yap into that headset, it's still him out there hopefully absorbing the feeling of what winning football can be for our team when our quarterback plays winning football. And that's what he did today, regardless of statistics or anything like that. He played winning football. He protected the ball. He made throws situationally. He made some chunk throws on some of the early downs. And even though Washington was kind of live in a world where they were going to not allow us to potentially get the ball down the field, we had some ops if protection allowed, and on a couple plays we didn't. Maybe we didn't hold up, or maybe it was an NFL pocket that just didn't allow it. And we not only survived the down, he made some plays with his legs. He checked the ball down a few times, and the ball just kept going forward for the most part. So still going to be some stuff that we'll absolutely be coaching, and he's been tireless the way he's worked all year long. But now we have yet another example of not just the game in the opener where we have a divisional comeback late. We go to Detroit and do a lot of the things we did today as a football team, and we're able to win in a very tough place to play. Now we have this example. So if we can keep stacking not only positive plays within the games, but stacking the feeling of what winning football is, I think it can be growth for all of us as we keep moving forward.
Is there one play today you would highlight to demonstrate what JJ did well today?
I think there's really two. The last fourth down touchdown to TJ was, they're playing kind of a split safety look. Justin Jefferson does an unbelievable job outside releasing on the cloud corner, which opens up the window for TJ. But JJ's got to trust that thing and locate that football. Accuracy in the low red zone put us in the end zone right there. Decisive decision. Kind of the intent of the play if we got the coverage that we did, and then we had some answers within the play if we didn't, but just decisive. And then I would say, I think back to, I don't remember what the D&D was, but Jordan Addison on a third down had a long completion where JJ, that was not his first progression. Justin Jefferson got taken away, and he throws a pretty nice leveled kind of drive throw to the void, and realizes that Jordan Addison's going to go get that ball for him like he did, which was a critical play on that. I believe it was on the 98-yard drive.
Deep out left?
Yeah. And
Basically the same one from the Chicago game that landed short of Jordan. I know it looked the same. But I don't
similar route, kind of more of a drop back third down kind of concept. But yes, that's a good observation. Similar route that played out. A little bit different coverage with kind of a zoning defender out in front of Justin on a route, and then you got to layer that ball up and over. But the layering of the ball, feeling that space, finding it in rhythm, those two plays jump out for sure.
The first touchdown to Josh, the first kind of handful of passes, was that an example of this simplifying things?
No, I mean that's what I loved about that, and Mark, and I think schematically we can spend all afternoon if you guys want to going through what he's being asked to do on plays and things like that. But really, it's just a matter of him being decisive. The first completion of the day to Ben Sims. We're trying to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. They took it away. How clean can you be with progression football and put it in play? And that was a big play to get us a new set of downs, churn that thing across the 50, and then keep playing. But yeah, and then what that does when he does some things earlier, it allows him to be in a quote-unquote decision-making rhythm where he can be decisive. It's single high. We've got a four vertical concept on where you're going to have a chance at either one of those tight ends in a big grouping, or you're going to check the ball down. And if you do that, that's okay too. But we just have to be able to call some of those plays and give him a chance to play quarterback and then maintain possession of the ball throughout, and you're going to get more ops. We got over 60 plays today, although I think we're probably keeping score. We had a few kneel downs, so not a very accurate portrayal of the total number of plays.
So Justin,
Go ahead.
So
I
Justin,
thought that was you.
about how happy he was with the victory, even though he didn't get as many touches as he would like to have.
Yeah.
Moving forward, how can he get more involved in the offense?
Yeah, he had a chance for a touchdown there in the second half, and JJ got moved off the spot, but actually kind of created a play on the sideline to, put an exclamation point on the day and had a chance there. But JJ had to move off the spot. But we're going to find ways to get Justin the ball. He did not play 60 minutes today. That was a tough conversation. He tried to avoid me and run out on the field with about 7 or 8 minutes left in the game. And we were able to kind of, a collective group effort between myself, Keenan, and a couple other folks, probably Dave Corse, our security guy as well, because Justin did not want to come out of the game, obviously. But if Justin has demonstrated anything this year, the leadership, the smile on his face right now, he wants to win. I think along the lines of, in this day and age where it's really easy to look at these and say this guy did this and this guy did that, Justin Jefferson's been playing at a really high level, and he did again today. It's not necessarily going to always show up in the stat sheet, but he means the absolute world to this organization. And you don't have a performance like we did today unless your leadership, Justin being a huge part of that, remains driving the ship forward and bringing some teammates along with him. Appreciate it.